Welcome to Football Friday for September 23rd. We'll take a look at Saturday's games, including a showdown in Baltimore. Muhlenberg travels to Johns Hopkins for the 44th meeting between the schools. The Mules have won 3 of the last 4 games, including 2 in a row at Homewood Field. It's been a tight series since 1983, with Muhlenberg holding a 15-13 lead and outscoring Hopkins by just 6 points in those 28 games. The Mules scored 27 fourth-quarter points to defeat McDaniel last weekend. Quarterback Dan Deegan was the Centennial Offensive Player of the Week after throwing for 200 yards and a pair of touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Victor Taywell and Pat McDonough have combined for 7 sacks and will need to put pressure on Jay's quarterback Hewitt Tomlin. Tomlin has thrown 9 touchdown passes with just 1 interception and is averaging nearly 260 yards per game. Hopkins has scored 40 or more points in 4 consecutive games and is ranked 6th nationally in scoring offense. The Jays are also ranked 8th nationally in total defense and have not allowed an offensive touchdown by its opponents in 10 quarters. Susquehanna visits the battlefield to take on Gettysburg. Last season, the Bullets overcame a 23-point deficit in the final 18 minutes to defeat the Crusaders 61-50. Running back Greg Tellish was a workhorse versus Dickinson, carrying 36 times for 153 yards in the score. Spencer Hoddelane was the hero, booting the game-winning field goal as time expired. Gettysburg is 2-0 in the conference for the first time since 1996 and is 8th nationally in scoring offense. Wide receiver Aiden Purr leads the conference with 143 receiving yards per game. The Bullets have to be more disciplined against Susquehanna after committing a Centennial record 20 penalties last week versus Juniata. Ursinus welcomes McDaniel to Patterson Field for his homecoming weekend. The Bears have won 5 straight in the series, and the Terrors' last win in Collegeville came in 2004. Running back Joe Rollins sat out the second half with an injury in the loss to Muhlenberg, but looks to be ready to go Saturday. Tight end Woody Butler has become a reliable target and caught 6 passes for 130 yards last week. Sam Cox, who leads the nation with 7.5 sacks, and the defense will be tested by Ursinus' Al Desiderio and Brian Ellis. Desiderio is averaging over 21 yards per catch in his career, while Ellis went over the 1,000 rushing yard mark after just 13 collegiate games. Defensive end Sean Whalen was the conference's Defensive Player of the Week after his performance against Franklin and Marshall. Juniata is Franklin and Marshall's alumni weekend opponent in Lancaster. The Diplomats won all 4 meetings with the Eagles since the series was resumed in 2007. One losing streak will end on Saturday. F&M has dropped 6 in a row, while Juniata has a 15-game losing streak. Juniata posted his highest point total since 2008 and lost to Gettysburg. Quarterback Ward Udinski threw a pair of touchdown passes to wide receiver Julian Baldessari. Defensive back Tyler Cottle blocked a punt and recovered it in the end zone for a touchdown. The Eagle defense will be tested by the arm of John Harrison. The Diplomats' offense has struggled in the early going, but looks to break out versus Juniata. Linebacker Brendan Wingirter has played well after the injury loss to starter Sam Massaro. Dickinson and Moravian square off on homecoming weekend in Carlisle. The Red Devils have won 3 of the last 4 meetings, but the Greyhounds captured a 24-16 decision last year at Biddle Field. Moravian is 0-3 for the first time since 1999. The Hounds have been outscored 120-20 in those 3 games and look to get the offense on track this weekend, especially the ground game, which is averaging under 100 yards per contest. The Red Devils suffered a heartbreaking loss at Susquehanna last week on the game's final play. Dickinson favors the running game, keeping the ball on the ground 65% of the time. When they do go upstairs, wide receiver Cam DeFeedy has 17 catches for 209 yards. Linebacker Julian Rosen leads the Dickinson defense and is 2nd in the conference with 29 tackles. Thanks for watching Football Friday. We'll return next week for another preview as the calendar turns to October. Thanks for watching.